Okay, example 4. Rewrite the following percent numbers as fractions. Okay. So here's how we're going to do this. Percent to fraction. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put, or actually we're going to drop the percent symbol. Drop percent symbol. And then we're going to put the number over 100. We're going to fix decimal issues. I'll show you what that means with example C when I make it up. We're going to fix decimal issues. And then we're going to reduce, if possible. This one here is going to only happen on part C, 3.15%. So include a part C to this. Okay. I don't know if you guys speak Latin. Anybody speak Latin? I don't either. I know what a few words mean though. And the word percent is a Latin word that means divided by 100. Did you guys know that? Percent divided by 100. That's what it means. So when this says 68%, it means 68 divided by 100. So that means that all we're doing in this right here is we're translating the word percent into what it really means. So if I take 68%, part A, and again 68%, I write that on my paper, and then I write that as 68 over 100. Okay, you drop the percent symbol off, and you translate it to what it really means, which means divided by 100. 68 divided by 100. That makes a fraction structure, and then your task is to reduce as much as possible. Now, nice thing about percents, it's always over 100. Guess what? The only two numbers that divide into 100 are that are prime numbers. Prime numbers divided 100, what are they? 2 and? 2 and what? What goes into 100? 2 and?
50.
50, but 2 and 5 would be the prime numbers. 50 does, right? But 2 and 5, if I'm talking prime numbers, the only prime numbers that divide 100 are 2 and 5. So all you have to do is test the top number. Does it divide by 2 or 5? That's all you have to do. If it divides by 2 or 5, you reduce it. If it doesn't, you don't. So does 68 divide by 5? No. Does it divide by 2?
2.
Yes. Sure does. So if we divide by 2, we're going to get 34 on top, and we're going to get 50 on the bottom. Still have 2 and 5 to go, right? Because 50 still divides by 2, right? Does 2 go into 34? Yes. Sure does. So 34 divided by 2 is 17, 50 divided by 2 is 25. And again, 17 doesn't end in 5 or 0, so it doesn't divide by 5. So that's how you're going to reduce. If you just happen to see it divides by 4, go for it. But if you're not sure, just try 2 until it doesn't work anymore. Try 5 until it doesn't work anymore. And if you're not sure if it works, it's real simple to know. If I type in my calculator, if I type 68 divided by 2 equals a whole number. Divided by 2 equals a whole number. Divided by 2 equals a decimal, doesn't divide by 2. If you ever hit a decimal, it doesn't divide anymore. Or if we're trying 68 divided by 5, it doesn't divide by 5 because it's a decimal. Okay, if it reduces, it makes a whole number when you divide by it. If it doesn't make a whole number, it doesn't reduce. Example B, we have 125% is the problem. So again, step 1 and 2 at the same time, drop the percent, put it over 100. So 125% means 125 over 100. Can everybody see that 5 goes into both top and bottom numbers because they end in 5 and 0? A 25 does too. So if we go with Journey's plan, Journey's going to divide 125 by 25, and she's going to divide 100 by 25. 125 divided by 25 is 5. 100 divided by 25 is 4. And again, you're welcome to walk it down. You can divide by 5, divide by 5 again. But if you see 25 goes into it, again, using a calculator if necessary for your calculation, that's fine. 5 over 4, improper fraction is a perfect way to leave a final answer. I don't need to see a fraction as a mixed number. So 17/25 is the best answer for this. I'm saying 5/4 is the best answer for that.
We can't reduce that.
And not anymore. We reduce
Or,
this,
I mean,
right?
we can't, like...
Oh, you mean make a mixed number 1 and
Yeah.
1/4? You can if you want. Again, that's the right answer. You don't have to do anything else to it. By making a mixed number, now I have to do extra stuff to it, and another chance to mess up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in order to give us more likelihood of having the right answer, I leave it there. But if you want to make a mixed number, if you do it correctly, I'm not going to count it wrong. But if you do it incorrectly, I'll probably count it wrong.
Probably.
Then you'll be mad at me for counting it wrong because you went an extra mile. So
Yeah.
it's all bad things happen there, so try not to do that. And then finally, part C, again, I made this one up 3.15%. This happens sometimes with these numbers, when you have a decimal percent. If I follow steps 1 and 2 and drop the percent symbol, put over 100, I'm going to have 3.15 over 100. Which is correct for what it says, but it's bad structure. Mathematical structure, when we're dealing with fractions, we like fractions to have an integer value, non-decimal, over an integer value, non-decimal, or non-fraction. So the fact that we have this decimal number inside of our fraction is bad structure. To fix this, this is fixed decimal issues happening right here, live and in person. You want the top and bottom to have an equal number of decimal places. The top has 2, so put a decimal 00 on the bottom so it also has 2. You can put as many zeros as you want to at the end, it's fine. Then, slide the decimals both over the same amount. So 3.15 had 2, 100 now has 2. Move them both over, it gets me 315 on top and 10,000 on the bottom. So 3.15 over 100 is the same as 315 over 10,000. And now it's time to reduce the fraction, if possible. Now, even though 10,000 is bigger than 100, we're still dealing with the number 2 and the number 5 are the only numbers that go into that number. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 makes 10,000. All right, so even though we're adding extra zeros, we're still just dealing with 2s and 5s. Notice 315 is odd, right? So 2 doesn't go into it. 5 does though, right? Because it ends in a 5. So if we do 315 divided by 5, what do you get? 63. If we do 10,000 divided by 5, we get 2,000, right? Again, we've already established 2 doesn't go into the top number, right? Still odd, so it still doesn't. So 2 doesn't go into it. No, 63 doesn't end in 0 or 5, so 5 doesn't go into 63. So that's as far as I can reduce that fraction, 63 2,000ths. All right, so that's in general how you change a percent to a fraction. Translate the Latin percent to divided by 100, fix the fraction if it's got decimal issues, and then reduce it if possible. Only 2 and 5 are the only two numbers you really have to test. 2 and 5 don't go on the top number, it doesn't reduce.